Hey guys, today we're talking shin splints. So I'm going to show you in 10 minutes how we assess, treat, and then potentially give you some exercise to work on fixing shin splints. So a common presentation that people have is where they have internally rotated hips. So my hips are rotated in this way more. And if you look down at the foot now, Leo, you can see how that actually flattens out my arch. So if I externally rotate my hips, see how that arch lifts up. So a lot of the time with people that have shin splints, they might have the foot turned out plus that internal rotation at the hip, which overloads and puts a lot of stress through this medial aspect of the shin. So when you're running, that's where all the load's going through. So one thing we're going to start to treat is actually through the shin itself, because we need to break down the inflammation and the scar tissue that's built up there, treating in through the tib post. So if you come in and have a look, so tib post attaches on the medial side of the shin here. So on Ninja, in through this area. So a lot of the time people get shin splints sort of in this range here. So that's where we're going to focus our treatment. We're going to treat through the actual shin itself, because that's where we find a lot of people get a lot of pain. So get a little bit of wax just so we can get a bit of movement through there. So we hook in just above the ankle bone, the medial malleoli. Good
oh,
there,
nice,
Happy
nice.
with that?
Nice
and then
work.
we're going to work stripping up. So we're actually going to start on the tibia itself, so on the shin bone. Because, yeah, there's a layer of fascial tissue that wraps over from the calf and the gastrocs that goes onto the shin, that periosteum, the layer that wraps around the bone, so that connective sheath. And so a lot of the time there's a lot of pulling that happens on that, and that causes adhesions and scar tissue and inflammation. So yeah, if you're getting a lot of pain in the shin when you're running, walking even, sometimes if you're doing a lot of plyos and jumping, yeah, this is the treatment that'll help you out. So we're just moving slowly through there, staying connected to the bone, so hooking up that way and staying on top of it. So connecting with my pisiform there and gliding our way up. Yeah, so a lot of the time people with shin splints, you might have started running after having a bit of a layoff, you might be running on hard surfaces. You might also be the footwear that you're wearing. So if you're wearing really padded shoes and you're not actually feeling the shock and the vibration that's going through your foot, that's where it starts to build up because you don't have that feedback. So yeah, a thing that I would recommend is actually take your shoes off, do shorter distances. So maybe do more sprint efforts, or yeah, shorter distances, and try and run a little bit faster, have some rest in there. But you'll actually start to improve your biomechanics and your landing of your foot posture. But we'll actually show you a couple of exercises just to work on trying to lift that arch up. So scraping all the way up. And then what we can do is start to get a thumb in through that tib post. So you're going to hook in under there. There's also a few other muscles that come in. So flexor digitorum, wrap around in here, and they pull the foot down that way. So flexing the toes. So a lot of the time that area still gets a lot of stress as well. So we're hooking in with a thumb, staying again close to the bone. We're not floating too much out into the muscle belly here, because a lot of the time people's pain is up under the bone and that attachment there. How's it feeling for you, Ninj?
Feels therapeutic. I know.
It's a nasty sensation. Like, yeah, if you've got shin splints, you're probably watching this going, oh, I don't know if I can handle it, but it's actually what you need. And we will go with your pain tolerance. Obviously, we need to get that productive pain level. But yeah, it's going to fix you.
The pace is important, isn't it?
Pace is important.
Yeah. The slow gives you a chance to receive it, accept it, and then you can go through it.
And a lot of the time with shin splints, you can actually feel, if you're a practitioner or pushing in there yourself, you'll feel a little nodule. And yeah, that's just where that tissue started to pull away from the bone a little bit, or there's a bit of inflammation or blocks in there. So you might just have to hold it, pin it, wait. And you might get some referral pains. And just start to move through as it eases up.
It's good. It's really good.
So you might also have really tight calves as well that can also yeah, lead to having this issue. So make sure you can get some work through your calves as well. But yeah, a lot of it is fixing that foot and ankle posture if you do have that flat foot and those internally rotated hips. Not saying that's everyone, but yeah, typically that's the common presentation we do see. And then what we'll show you is actually you can get the elbow in there. So sometimes you need to break out the heavy artillery and just sit. So again, we're connected to the bone there. I'm using the fleshy part of my forearm. I'm not going straight elbow there. So it's a bit easier. Thanks, Leo. Get rid of the wax. Slowly work up.
Feels really therapeutic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brutal, but yeah, good.
And yeah, you might not have ever seen a practitioner do this and actually work on the tibia, but yeah, I can say we've helped countless people with treating it this way. It's the only way you can actually release that pain by getting into the shin. Got a little bug on your ninja.
Right?
Yeah, that's alright, I flicked him off.
My friend.
All the little cobwebs that are coming
coming out off my shins, you reckon?
So staying connected, we can do these little wiggles with my forearm, which will change the intensity. So I'm not actually pushing any harder, but if I rotate my forearm, it gets a bit more bony.
Yeah.
And then I can flatten it back out to relieve some of that. And then just working up.
Yeah, that's good.
Staying connected all the way up.
Yeah, it feels good through there.
And then you can also roll in and sort of hook under that tibia. So I'm still on the bone, but just under it a little bit more, angling in. Not as much there. So we can just flatten out. So that's where the pace is so important. So you can change those angles and really tailor the treatment for you or for your person on the table if you're a practitioner. So there's normally a nice little nugget up here, which is sort of where that tib post really starts to get a bit thicker.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's good, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah, it's good. Love it. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, going back to what you were saying before, I remember people that had really bad shins, and every time they'd go and do sprints with me, they'd get fixed. So, so they had been slack. They hadn't been coming to my sprint sessions for a while. They getting sore shins again, and then the remedy was to get, you know, short distance, you know, like 10, 20, 30 metre sprints. It really gets you on your toes, but it gets you loading your body up in the right or the pure way that it's designed, it's engineered to be able to be expressed. So yeah, it stops that jamming up that we get when we're in shod, when we're in the shoes, and we're not using our body in the right sequence and things like that. So
yeah, and if you are doing a lot of long distance training, sometimes that's when if your biomechanics aren't great, it might be actually beneficial to strip it back, do those shorter distances, and work on your stride, work on your mechanics so that you can go back once you've gotten rid of the pain and worked on your mechanics. You can start to run longer distances and maintain better form the whole way through. Yeah, little twitch in there, Ninja.
Little involuntary ones.
Good thing I didn't get kicked in there.
No, you're right.
You normally keep your foot or your head away from the foot when you're doing this sort of work.
Well, this one can fucking roundhouse you. I'm always keeping my eye on. Yeah. You build up awareness, don't you?
Get Ninja to roll onto his side, so this shin's on top. So we're just going to...
on top, like that?
Yeah, that's it. So bend that one up there. So again, this we're going to treat through the perineals, so the outside of the shin here. So if they're tight, they can also flatten that foot as well. So yeah, we would spend longer on the shin there, but I just wanted to show you how we would treat those areas, and then we're moving on. This is another area we'd focus on. So yeah, first of all, we need to address the pain, treat the pain sites and any other areas that might be compensating, and then we can start to address further up the chain as well. So yeah, the first session would look like mostly like this, so a bit of assessment, seeing where you potentially have some dysfunction, treating the areas of pain, and then going up future session, we might start to look at the hips if that is contributing to your issue.
I think it is really important to get treatment done in your first session. Like there's other practitioners that don't actually get their hands on you, and
or particularly into that aspect of the shin as well.
Yeah, so I think it's just for your own, as the receiver and the person that's had the discomfort and the, you know, all that kind of stuff, the pain.
You want it worked,
yeah,
don't you?
You want it worked. You want to have, and it's sort of that exploration is what really gives you some insight into what's going on and where the really stuck spots are, but where it's connected and things like that as well. So you kind of can piece it together, and then you know that it's going to be better, because when you have that therapeutic feeling, there's a knowing. So yeah, you know that you're going to be better from that session. So yeah, we always do treatment that first session, don't we?
That's
as
it.
much as possible.
Clean first, build second. Yeah. We might give you a little exercise at the end, just something that's simple to work on to start to implement. But yeah, we won't overload you with heaps of exercises, and yeah, skip out on the gold, which is the treatment.
Yeah, that's where the improvement's going to be, isn't it? You know, getting rid of the stuck tissue.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Feels good.
Feels good through there. So again, we could spend longer on that, but we'll get Ninja to roll all the way over. We'll work a little bit through the calf. Yeah, a lot of the time the gastrocs, because of that attachment into the medial side of the shin, they can also cause a lot of issues with shin splints. So yeah, you don't want to skip out on the treatment of the calves. You're always taking the brunt of the load when we're running or walking, standing. There's always a lot of force going through there.
Might have got a bit in him.
Yeah, Ninja's got a bit.
Yeah. We had a couple of weeks off sprints and
first week back last week.
Yeah, it's 5 days on. I'm still recovering. So
still recovering?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Monday night, I was really feeling the effects of the
fatigue,
sprints. Yeah, 3 days on. So yeah.
We didn't really ease back into it though. We had a hot day as well, and then did our standard session after having a couple of weeks off. So
had a crack.
Yeah, had a crack.
Yeah.
It's the only way to be.
Jump in the deep end.
Yeah, see where you're at.
Yeah. We've got a fair bit of foundation, haven't we?
K's in the legs.
Yeah, we've got a few runs on the board, so it's not reckless, really. It's just the way to get back to where we want to be. So
treating through the calf, finding where those sore spots are. Again, a lot of the time, if you do have a flat foot, the money spot for you will be this gastroc-soleus junction. So soleus here, two gastroc heads where they meet, and then generally it's going to be a little bit more medial, especially if you've got that flat foot, because that's where a lot of the shock and the load is going to go through first in that calf. So we're going to, Ninja is a beauty.
You can feel it, go.
Not even pushing it, it's feel a bit of a brick in there. So. But yeah, this is the gold. If we only have a little spot to go to in the calf, don't have a lot of time, we can just hit this spot. That's why it's called a money spot. So good for relieving a lot of pain and tension.
Bang for buck.
Bang for buck.
That's it. And what can they do if they want to learn this stuff, Jace?
What can they do? They can actually jump on a course. Ninja and Aaron, if you're a practitioner or someone will want to learn more about the human body, or you want to change your careers, there's actually a mentorship program starting in Feb that goes through our all the secret herbs and spices that we've got in our treatment here. So you can get the recipe from Ninja, how to fix pain, how to fix your own pain if you're someone that wants to fix your own body. So go through our treatment principles. There's pre-recorded content of going through pretty much head to toe how we address every different area. And then there's also weekly live webinars where you can chat with Ninja and Aaron about certain topics. It might be, going through the course content, but there'll be extra advice there.
Yeah, plenty. Yeah, the mentorship part of it we think is the most valuable, but you got 60 hours of pre-recorded content you got for life. You can always go back to it and refresh, because there's times where you don't treat like a rib or something like that for a while, so you want to go back to the video and refresh it before you see a person, things like that. So but I think the discussions that we do, they're the really valuable things. Like, we're into self-development, not just as a
not just
practitioner,
about the practitioner work,
as a person as well, kind of get to know yourself, and so then you can kind of live an authentic life, but also know that other people have got different values as well. So we kind of expect other people to have the same values as us, but it's unrealistic, and other people expect us to have their values, but that's unrealistic too. So once you kind of understand some of these principles we're getting across, then you have a better life. But we want you to be the best practitioner you possibly can be. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's good.
Anyway, jump on the course. We'll leave it there for treatment. We'll show you a quick exercise. Alright, so the exercise we're going to work on is just isometric stance. So it's important to have our foot tripod, so we want to have even distribution between big toe, little toe, and the ball and the heel of our foot there. So we're going to stand up onto one leg. We're making sure that we're maintaining an arch. So what you want to do is imagining you're pulling this big toe towards your heel without lifting the bone off here. So we want to lift that arch up. So by squeezing, you can see I can lift the arch up there. So I'm going to face the camera. So squeeze, lift that arch up. Then we're going to stand up. Whichever knee's up, the opposite hand is going to be in the air. And we're just working on that balance. So maintain that arch. Make sure your foot is facing directly forward. Again, getting out of any turned out hip posture or foot posture, sorry. And then we're locking this glute in. So making sure we're in alignment. We're not from the side. We're not leaning back like this. Our joints are stacked. So it should be a straight line from outside the ankle, outside the knee, hip, shoulder and ear. And then we're just holding there and maintaining that foot tripod. So we don't want to lose and let that ankle collapse in. And again, doing this barefoot, so you have that sensation through your foot. So it might seem quite simple, but yeah, if you actually don't practice balance, yeah, how do you expect to be able to run and walk with good biomechanics? So yeah, break it down. Simple exercise. Start with trying to get to 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and build up to trying to hold for a minute on each side. Thanks, guys. Shins are fixed.